Yo, what is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video. Annihilape has just been released in the Go Battle League, in Pokemon Go, I should say, in general. And this thing is not only good in the Great League, it's not only good in the Ultra League, it's pretty good in the Master League as well. We're going to take a look at the Master League since that's what's currently in the Go Battle League today. And tomorrow, with your guys' help, I look to showcase some Annihilape in the Great League and the Ultra League battle. So feel free to send me your submissions in the link always in the description. And this thing right here, this Pokemon right here is crazy. Before we get into these battles that were submitted to me by It's Dynamite, I'm just going to take you through PvPoke for a quick second, where if we look at the rankings in the Great League, Annihilape number 10 in the Great League. Some things that it's going to key win against: Stunfisk. Yeah, okay, Stunfisk isn't that popular anymore, but Medi, Storm, Whiscash, Lantern, all big heavy hitters that it can win against. And it has counter Ice Punch, Shadow Ball as the recommended moveset, but Annihilape is pretty flexible. And you can run every single charge move it has, to be honest, except for Low Sweep. I think has the ability to be considered. Oh, sorry about that. Has the ability to be considered. You see them kind of cut off over here. There we go. We can move that a little bit better that way. Close Combat, Night Slash, Shadow Ball, Ice Punch, I think all have play. And then if we look at the rankings in the Ultra League, let's see where Annihilape stacks up. It stacks up at number 23, as you can see there. And in the Master League as well, Annihilape is going to be at number 42, which might seem kind of low for the Master League, but let's see what it's around. Like, it's around Shadow Lugia, it's around Heatran, so definitely more of probably a secondary meta, maybe more of a meta breaker type pick, but still very viable. And I saw Mr. Tho Technical on stream today just cooking with that Annihilape. He won a ton of games. I think he had like a 7-game winning streak at one point with an Annihilape team. So that said, we know this thing can be great, and we are going to see it in action from this trainer right here that submitted me his battles. One more time, It's Dynamite. That's right. How could I forget a name like that? It's because I literally just saw the submission pop up, so I went to make it as soon as I could. He's running Garchomp and a shiny Mewtwo along with this Annihilape, which is a perfect IV, a best buddy Annihilape. And right now going up against a best buddy Mewtwo on the opposition, going to swap in his own Mewtwo. Would have maybe liked to see him threaten a shield first with his Garchomp to make this a little bit more comfortable. But we'll see how this plays out. Shiny Mewtwo against regular Mewtwo. Shadow Ball is going to get successfully shielded. Very nice. And he does have a 14 attack Mewtwo, so it makes sense that he's going to lose the charge attack priority here. Shadow Ball gets shielded from the opposing Mewtwo. And, oh, this Mewtwo's a little bit under leveled, it looks like, too. 4570 CP as well. He's like your boy. He doesn't have all the best, all the XLs in the world. But thank you to It's Dynamite for the submission. And now going for the Psy Strike bait. Is he going to grab the shield? He is. Great bait. Even with a CP disadvantage, still going to be able to flip the Mewtwo matchup. And this is pretty impressive. His shiny Mewtwo says, take that, non-shiny Mewtwo. In comes Giratina, and he's actually going to combo play. The opponent makes a great catch, though, into the Ho-Oh. Outrage is still going to connect for some heavy neutral damage. Outrage, a very hard-hitting move. The problem here is Annihilape going to be able to deal with the Gira? I guess it won't have to. I guess Dynamite is like first game. Annihilape's not going to get any playing time. That's kind of funny. This is supposed to be an Annihilape showcase. It's Dynamite. It's supposed to be an Annihilape showcase. But there you have it. There's where Rise gets surprised. I have genuine surprised reactions when I do these videos of your submissions, because I generally do not react to the battles first. I just save it for the live video. And here we have a positive lead for Mr. Garchomp going for the Earth Power, which if connecting against Dialga would do a ton of damage, potentially would knock out Garchomp. Building up to another move. And gonna shield, which I don't mind to get off a second Earth Power here. You're either gonna grab a shield or knock out the Dialga. And the opponent doesn't go for the catch. I feel like in higher elo, it's like a pretty catchable type situation. But the opponent just is gonna play it safe. They're just gonna 2-shield farm down. And in comes Annihilape. And this is where the counter down could be really impactful. Annihilape with counter. We know it's such a good fast move. Going to be able to farm down the Dialga. They go for the Draco, and now the farm's going to be even easier. They come in with Zacian, so going to save the energy on Annihilape, come in with Mewtwo. I think this is a smart play. The problem is, with this head start, Zacian may get to 2 moves before Mewtwo. Oh, but they do debuff themselves with Wild Charge, so now Psystrike might be enough. Would have liked to see him do one more Psycho Cut for better timing, but if this knocks out, that would be really nice, and it doesn't quite knock out, but he gets the farm anyway. He gets the farm anyway. Almost has a charge move to threaten whatever the next Pokemon is. Let's see what it's going to be. What's going to enter the field? It's an opposing Mewtwo. No, I don't want this. I want Annihilape to do more work. But the other 2 Pokemon are too strong. It's an Annihilape showcase, and Annihilape's not getting enough playing time. At least, okay, Annihilape's going to get to close the show. He's going to get to close the show. We want the ape. We want the ape. And he's going to be able to counter down the Dialga. And let's see this Shadow Ball animation. Look at this thing. Look how cool he looks. Annihilape going for the Shadow Ball. Boom. Knocks out the Mewtwo. And that is a G to the G. All right, next battle. It's Dynamite. Because we gonna rock this club. We could go all night. We gonna light it up like it's dynamite. That was such a popular song for so long in my childhood. That brings back the memories. Early, late 2000s. What a great time to be alive. All right, tough lead here. But Garchomp, of course, can chip with Outrage. The problem is you're not dealing any fast move damage versus Gyarados is chunking away with its super effective Dragon Breath. So it looks like that might have been a charge attack priority. Outrage does grab a shield. That's good. And a move coming through from Gyarados. You might want to safe swap the Mewtwo here. Otherwise, you could be at risk of getting farmed down. So, yep, I love the recognition there from It's Dynamite. He's going to stay in here. The opponent tries to catch the Psycho Cut on Excadrill and goes for the Shadow Ball here. See, I think double Psystrike is actually the play. Maybe because he's not running a fully powered up Mewtwo. Maybe Excadrill could live double Psystrike, but you see just how massive damage that Shadow Ball did. I think double Psystrike is the more efficient play here in the Excadrill matchup, even though it seems counterintuitive, right? Throwing a resisted charge move. But going for the Psystrike now, and Psystrike grabs the final shield. I wouldn't mind to see him just save his final shield for Primeape. Yeah, or sorry, not Primeape, Annihilape. Save it for the Annihilape. Can Annihilape annihilate the opposition? I don't know if that's too rough of a word usage for Pokemon battling. Annihilate the opposing team. Let me know if that's too harsh, or if you're like, Rise, your average age viewer demographic is 24 to 35. We can handle it. I think that's probably the latter. Probably got to shield something at this point if you're It's Dynamite. Annihilape going to put up a Protect Shield against the Gyarados. In comes... I was expecting them to switch, but no, they're just going to stay in. Shadow Ball will do some massive damage. Shadow Ball's such a strong move. Going to connect. Does big damage to the Gyarados. And now, do you commit the final shield? No, he's going to call the Aqua Tail. Feels like he can survive. Oh, but it's the Crunch. But Crunch, remember, with that fighting typing, only hits for neutral. Oh my gosh, the perfect thing in back. A Metagross super effective Shadow Ball is going to connect. And it is going to put the Metagross super low. And Annihilape nearly at the Ice Punch. Will it get it off against this Gyarados? Gyarados is out of here because Gyarados knows Annihilape was going to get there. And that is a G to the G. There we go. There's Annihilape putting on a show. It's Dynamite was teasing us with the first few. He's like, all right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He's like, I know Annihilape is what we all want to see, but let's... Oh, I just noticed all 3 of these Pokemon are lucky as well. So It's Dynamite really grinding those trades. I got a message from one of you viewers recently that was looking for some trades. So that was cool to see. Me mentioning it in one of my videos. It worked out. Garchomp into an opposing Annihilape. Opposing Annihilape for the first time. Unreal. They swap in Yveltal, and this is kind of weird. Like, you don't have an obvious answer to it, so I think staying in is probably the right call. Also, Mewtwo's going to have a really solid matchup against Annihilape, so if you can keep alignment and have Mewtwo on Annihilape, that seems pretty good. Or maybe you even, like, Yeah, I don't mind this. You come out with energy here. I guess you have to respect, though, like a potential Oblivion Wing. That could do some massive damage. But it's just a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse would hit for neutral here. Dark Pulse would hit for neutral. Gets the full counter down. Has all this energy. Does opposing Annihilate come in? It does. And, dude, these counters are doing absolutely nothing because these fighters are also ghosts. So these are double resisted counters. Shadow Ball connects. Does big damage. Yo, why is everyone top lefting? What is going on? It's like top left day or something. Has every battle been a top left? Almost. But gets another win. I love it. And going to shortly queue into the next one. Here we go. He's rocking this club like he's dynamite. Next opponent. We got either one or two more battles here. Yo, I love the look at that Ho-Oh. What? Dude, I forget. I'm such a noob. I forget like the technical name for that Ho-Oh. But that thing looks so cool. Because it's not just a shadow, it's also the like special thing, it looks like. And now we got the Outrage coming through. Big damage onto Ho-Oh. And Ho-Oh's going to let a move fire. Sacred Fire would do quite a bit of damage here. Or Brave Bird. Sacred Fire, like, even though it's resisted, look how much that does. It's crazy. Going for the Earth Power. Feels like it should be enough. It's only single resisted because of Ho-Oh's fire typing. Earth Power does grab the shield. Feels like he's better off letting himself get farmed. Oh, actually transfers and Incinerate. So now his Garchomp has that energy still stored. It's still one mud shot away from move. Willing to let the Mewtwo go. Oh my gosh. He was really teasing us early. And now he's like, I'm putting it all on the back of Annihilape. Annihilape. Unfortunately, going to have to shield right off the gate. Hopefully it's not a Sacred Fire that debuffs. It's just a Brave Bird, okay. So you get the farm down. You don't even have to take an Incinerate. That's pretty nice. And what's going to be in the back? Is Annihilape going to clutch this? Is he going to be a core breaker for the opponent? What's going to come in? Okay, Kyogre, pretty neutral. Pretty neutral Kyogre with a bit of a higher stat product, so it's going to fare well. But this head start for Annihilape is going to be nice because you're going to be able to Shadow Ball and probably get to another Shadow Ball if they decide to shield. Goes for the Shadow Ball here. I think Kyogre might have thrown right away or maybe after like 6. So Kyogre's at least like 3 away, right? So Annihilape going to get off the Shadow Ball. Does allow the sneak. That's unfortunate. I think Kyogre might be at the move or 1 away. Shadow Ball coming through. Doesn't quite knock out. Going to go for the catch on the Garchomp. Goes for the catch on the Garchomp. Can Annihilape close this out? What's going to be the third Pokemon? They didn't seem to have an obvious answer. They allow the farm down. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be Dialga. Is Shadow Ball plus the counter damage enough? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think Dialga's gonna Dragon Breath down. Shadow Ball, not enough. And unfortunately, Annihilape cannot close out there. So G to the G. Thank you to It's Dynamite for the submission. I appreciate you, dude. And I hope you guys got a kick out of an early look at Annihilape in the Master League. I think it's going to really shine in the Great League. And one thing I want to point out before we end this video that I think is of some value is if I go back over to PvPoke, one thing that really surprised me is the level of bulk of Annihilape in the Great League. Because if we look at Primeape, and we look at Primeape's level of bulk, pretty dang glassy. 140 attack, 99.1 defense, 115 stamina. And normally I feel like when you look at a Pokemon compared to its evolution, usually the evolution is less bulky. So for example, what I'm thinking of is like, if we look at Ivysaur, it's at 118, 121, 130 with an overall stat product of 1877. This defense and stamina impacts like how bulky it is, how much it can take a hit. And if we look at that compared to Venusaur, Venusaur is a little bit less bulky. Or for example, if we look at like, let's say, I'm blanking on the spot, Swampert 1816 compared to Marshtomp. Marshtomp's like a little bit bulkier as like the evolution. And I feel like the reason for that is usually they're reaching a higher level. Like Ivysaur is getting to a higher level at 1500 CP than Venusaur is. But for some reason, we saw the Primeape at 1599 stat product. And check this out. Annihilape. I always added an extra N for some reason. Annihilape. 1805 stat product. So it's bulkier than Primeape. It's got similar bulk to like Poliwrath. Okay, not quite as bulky as Poliwrath. Similar bulk to Swampert. 1816 stat product for Swampert at the base, and Annihilape 1805. So similar stat product to a Swampert, which is like decent bulk, right? Decent bulk for a ghost fighter in the Great League. So I'm going to be really excited to use it myself. I don't have like a great one right now to build. I also am going to be excited to see if people use it in the Charlotte Regionals this weekend. Homeslice Henry's going to be casting along with Nighttime Clash or DeFi and Alpha Phoebe. So go support them in the chat. And yeah, they just announced like within the last couple hours, Annihilape will be allowed in the Charlotte Regionals, which is kind of throwing everyone for a loop because everyone thought it wasn't going to be released till within 24 hours of the tournament start, which would mean it would be still illegal to use by the time you like lock in a team. But because the rule is if it's allowed within 24 hours, if it's released before 24 hours, like that time period, you can use it. So it's going to be legal. We'll see how many people decide to use it. And I'm interested to see how this thing performs. Imagine if somebody wins the tournament with Annihilape. That'd be absolutely insane. All that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.